Kiddos, some of these first ones are going to be filled in because I got through 2 pages and then the recording stopped working. So bear with me. We're going to talk through this first set, and then we'll go on to pages 3, 4, and 5. All right, so when we are adding our mixed numbers, which is a fraction and a friend, we are adding our 2 separate pieces. And then if we have any improper fractions, like we talked about in class, we need to clean them up. We need to pull out our whole numbers and see what fractions we're left with. So for this one, we're starting with 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. Our denominator is 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. When the top number is bigger than the bottom number, that means we have more than one whole. So we're going to take out that whole. So 4 and 5 over 4, we're pulling out a whole. 4 over 4 is a whole. If I take out that 4, I am left with one more. 4 plus 1 is 5, 5 and 1/4. On to our next one. We have 7 plus 9 is 16. Denominators match. 1 plus 5 is 6. 16 and 6/10 is the final. If you simplified and you got 16 and 3/5, that is correct as well. Over here, we have 5 plus 8 is 13. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 2/2. 2/2 or 2 over 2 tells us that we have a whole. 13 plus 1 is 14. 2 plus 5 is 7. 5 plus 7 is 12. 7/12 means we can pull out one whole. When we do, we're left with 4. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 and 4/8. We could also simplify this down to 8 and 1/2. Coming down to the bottom, we have 1 plus 9 is 10. Bring your 12ths over. 8 plus 7 is 15. The top number is bigger, so we can take out a whole. 10 and one whole. When we take out those 12, we have 3 left. 11 and 3/12 would be our final. 4 and 6 is 10. Our denominator is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. Our top is bigger than our bottom, which tells us that we can pull out a whole. When I take out those 3, I'm left with 1. 10 plus 1 is 11 and 1/3. That's the end of page 1. If you have any questions, please bring them with you to class. On our next section, we are still adding mixed numbers. The only difference is that we're doing them up and down or vertically. Let's get started. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 and 5 over 5 means 5 plus 1 is 6. 9 plus 4 is 13. Our denominator is 100. 62 plus 25 gives us 87. 13 and 87 over 100. 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. Top number is bigger than the bottom, so we're going to pull out one whole. When I take out my 6, I'm left with 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, and our 1/6. 10 plus 7 is 17. 1 plus 2 is 3/4. The final for this one, 17 and 3/4. Over here, 4 plus 5 is 9. 2 plus 1 is 3. When the top and the bottom match, it's the same as adding 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. 6 plus 8 is 14. 4 plus 4 is 8. When I have the same number or greater, it means I can pull out a whole. 14 plus 1 whole. 8 minus 5 is 3 more. 14 plus 1 is 15. And 3/5. That's the end of page 2. If you have any questions, bring them with you to class. All right, this time we are finding the difference between our mixed numbers in a side-to-side setup. When we subtract, we have to subtract our fractions first, because if our fractions are not able to be subtracted, we're going to have to borrow from our mixed number. So start with your fractions. My bottom number is a fifth. 3 minus 1 is 2. I can do that. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 and 1/5. My denominator is 4. 2 minus 3, I can't do that. I'm going to borrow. When I borrow, I get 4 more pieces. This is now 6/4. 6 minus 3 is 3. 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 and 3/4. 5 minus 6, I cannot do that. I have to borrow. When I borrow, I get 10 more. This is now 15/10. 15 minus 6 is 9. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 and 9/10. My bottom number is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 and 0/3, or whole number 2. Both of those would be correct. Down to the bottom here, my denominator is a 6. 5 minus 4 is 1. 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 and 1/6. Last one for this page. My denominator is an 8. 3 minus 7, I can't do that. When I borrow, I get 8 more. I now have 11/8. 11 minus 7 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. I could say that this is 3 4/8 if I simplified 3 1/2. Any questions? Bring them with you to class. Page 4, we are subtracting in an up and down or vertical setting. Remember, we always start with subtracting our fractions first in case we need to borrow. My denominator is a 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. 9 minus 7 is 2. 2 and 0/2, or whole number 2. Over here, 2 minus 6, I can't do that. I'm going to borrow. When I borrow, I get 12 more. My new fraction is 14/12. 14 minus 6 is 8. 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 and 8/12 if I simplified 5 2/3. All right, here we go. 19 minus 42, I can't do that. So I have to borrow. When I borrow, I get 100 more. I now have 119/100. When I subtract, I'm left with 77. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 and 77/100. My denominator's 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 and 2/4, or 2 and 1/2 if you simplified. 2 more on this page. My denominator is a 5th. 2 minus 4, I can't do that, so I borrow. When I borrow, I get 5 more. I now have 7/5. 7 minus 4 is 3. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 and 3/5. Last one. 5 minus 5 is 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. This answer is 0. Any questions? Bring them with you to class. All right, sweet faces, our last page is a stretch. They are word problems where we are adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So let's take a peek and see if we can find some important information. Aaron went to the orchard this summer and got 1 3/4 pounds of apples and 2 2/3 pounds of peaches to make jam. How many pounds of fruit did she purchase? So she purchased 1 1/3, 2 2/3. We want to know how many she purchased altogether, so we're going to add them. 2 plus 1 is 3/3. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 3/3 is the same as 4. She purchased 4 pounds of fruit. Question number 2, let's look for important information. Mr. Allen started the school year with 8.5 pencil boxes. By the end of the first semester, He had 3 pencil boxes left. How many pencils did his students use? So he had 8 and 1/2. His students used 3. We wanted to know how many were left, or how many did they use? So we need to subtract. We subtract our fraction first. 1/2 minus nothing is 1/2. 8 minus 3 is 5. They used 5 1/2. 5 1/2. All right, nuggets. Chris started with 6 1/4 feet of a wooden board. He cut off 3 2/4 feet. How long is his wooden board now? So he had 6 1/4. He needed to subtract 3 2/4 to see what's left. Subtract your fraction first. 1 minus 2 I can't do. When I borrow, I get 4 more. This gives me 5/4. 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 3/4. Stacy needs to prep for a marathon. She ran 3 4/6 of a mile, 7 1/6 of a mile, and 2 3/6 of a mile. How many miles did she run all week? We're adding up 3 numbers here. So we can pull them apart and do them piece by piece. 3 4/6 plus 7 1/6. 7 plus 3 is 10. 4 and 1 is 5. The last day she ran was Friday. We need to add that additional 2 3/6. 10 plus 2 is 12. R6. 5 and 3 is 8. Pull out your whole 6/6, which leaves us with 2 6. 12 plus 1 is 13 and 2/6. If you simplify that to 13 1/3, that is perfect as well. All right, Luke measured 5 6/12 feet and then 6 3/12 feet of a pipe that he needed to make a chicken feeder. How much pipe does he have all together? All together tells me to add 5 6/12 plus 6 3/12. 5 plus 6 is 11 over 12. 6 plus 3 is 9. If you simplified to 11 3/4, that is correct as well. All right, loves. We have this last one talking about Heidi. Heidi measured the snowfall at 9 1/8 inches. After a few days of sunshine, she now measured it at 5 4/8. How much has the snow melted so far? When it's melting, it's getting less. It's a subtraction question. 9 1/8 minus 5 4/8. Subtract your fractions first. 1 minus 4, I can't do that. I have to borrow. I get 8 more. Now I have 9/8. 9 minus 4 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 5/8. All right, kiddos, any questions? Bring them with you to class.